Okay, this is how this works. Because you work for a shop, you're a service to the public. At any given time, contracts are subject to change between you and the employer, such as the employer can say, I'm paying you $35 an hour as a flat rate tech here. And then they fire you and only give you the amount of hours you were clocked in. That's why it's important to stay on the clock even though you're a flat rate tech. A lot of flat rate techs have this mentality that, fuck, I'll clock in when I clock in or whatever. It's not, I don't get paid based on clocking in at the beginning of the day and clocking out. Well, first of all, it's important for insurance policy stuff to show you were on the clock. Second of all, it helps track your vacation hours and stuff like that, as well as have your medical stuff and everything else that you're entitled to that you pay for out of your paycheck. Keep all that stuff updated. Third, if you ever do end up having to leave that job or getting fired from that job and they don't want to pay you, you have the amount of hours clocked in times minimum wage. Based on state law, it all depends on where you're from. I was down in Louisiana at the time. I gave them a 1-month notice. My father was in the hospital. It's a viral story of mine that's on YouTube. 2 weeks into it, they actually said that we're going to go ahead and let you go now and we're not going to pay you. I went to the labor board and the labor board said because you're in a situation where you're getting paid flat rate, that could be $35 today, it could be $25 tomorrow, it could be $40 a week later depending on the contract you sign with the company. We don't get involved in those private matters between you and the employer, but we do know that by law, the employer is guaranteed to pay you minimum wage times the amount of hours worked. So we can force them to pay minimum wage times the amount of hours worked, but we cannot force them to pay you your hourly signed contract wage because that's a private matter between you and them, which is subject to change because of the type of business that you are in as a service to the public. So we can't get involved on that side. You can take them to like a civil court and you can work it out that way, but it's probably going to cost you just as much money to have somebody represent you unless you have the lawyer agree that if you win the case that they will get the money from the employer, which is very rare. You have to pay for your own lawyer, which can be $600, $800, $1,000, $1,500, and by the time everything's said and done, you're out just as much as you gain from that paycheck, so why even go to court over one paycheck? Now, if it's many, then it would be worth it. So when you said, so I wanted to know, is this legal? What they're doing to you by holding your pay is illegal. They have to at least pay you the amount of hours that you were clocked in times minimum wage. And then when that payment comes through, they could offer the difference and get you the rest of your money. But why go through the hassle of doing all that? What employer wants to go to the extent of trying to say, okay, well, it's a 40-hour week and minimum wage is $10 an hour, so here's your taxed $400, but when the rest of that payment comes in, we'll make sure that's put on your check. Then you have to keep track of what the difference is on what they paid you, and then the accounting and stuff is different. It's just ridiculous to even do that. So is it legal for them to hold your flat rate hours because a customer hasn't paid? No, because in turn, you're getting paid nothing for that service that you just provided. So aside from you waiting for your flat rate hours, you're not even getting paid the minimum wage hours that they have to pay you. You're just not getting paid anything. So yes, it is illegal across the board. So you should go to them and say, state law says that you at least have to pay me minimum wage times the amount of hours I was clocked in. And you're not even doing that. You're just flat out telling me you're not paying me for any of the time that I was clocked in or here at this business and not paying me those flat rate hours until they're paid. Well, you still have to pay me minimum wage times the amount of hours that I was here clocked in, and you haven't even done that. So what they are essentially doing is illegal, and they could get in a lot of trouble for this. What I would do if I was you is go to your local labor board, sit down with somebody and tell them what's going on, and they will immediately spring into action and take care of this.